9th. Oklahoma Live starts now.
From the Oklahoma City studios of KSBI, welcome to Oklahoma Live, Oklahoma television for and about Oklahoma, featuring Oklahoma's best bands, fabulous fashions from Macy's, fantastic Oklahoma food, fun, foolishness, and what's hot in the Oklahoma City metro. This is Oklahoma Live, with your host, Alex Worley, Owen Pickard, and Drew Schroeder.
Happy Friday and welcome to Oklahoma Live. I'm Alex Worley.
And I am Drew Schroeder.
All right, coming up, Drew tests his sewing skills. We're not kidding here. Stay tuned for this one. And if you already know how to sew, that is, we'll teach you how you can actually become a blanketeer for kids in need. That's next. Welcome back to Oklahoma Live. Robin Hill and Tammy Morgan from the Stitching Post are here to tell us how your sewing skills, if you have them, could help keep a child warm, or if you don't worry, they've got lots of classes to help you learn. Welcome, ladies.
Hi. How are you?
Good. Thanks for being on our show today. And Tammy, you're going to be sewing away, so hopefully we'll learn something from you. But first, Robin, if you wouldn't mind telling us about some classes you have coming up, and actually this is kind of the end product from those classes, what people will learn how to do. So tell me about this first quilt here.
Yes, this is actually called a ribbon heat set. And this is an applique quilt. It also involves fabric painting for shading. You can also add little glitz if you want to, little crystals to decorate it.
So all these skills that you just mentioned, that's something that people can actually learn how to do at a Stitching Post class.
Yes, ma'am. It's a really wonderful quilt. You would think something this glamorous would be very hard, but it's a great class for a beginner because you'll learn all aspects of the quilting. You'll learn the applique, you'll learn the putting the quilt together and the binding. So you'll learn all facets of quilting in this class.
Is this what the hot ribbon is right
yes,
here?
Ma'am.
This portion? And explain to me how that works.
Well, in other words, this is a batik fabric, and she's come in and she's taken the hot ribbon here, and she's taken a little, what we call a little craft iron, and it has glue on the other side of it, and you melt it around to give an edge to your applique, so it's not raw.
Sounds like a fun thing to learn. Let's take a look at the second one. You can also learn how to...
That class is coming up in February.
Okay, great. And then people can learn how to do this too. How does this one vary from the first one we saw?
Well, this is a little bit different. And instead of covering your applique, this is actually an embroidery CD that you can buy and do on your embroidery machine. Or you can actually take your sewing machine, create a satin stitch, and put an edge with thread as opposed to the hot ribbon.
So do you have to have a sewing machine in order to do something like this?
Yes, and you can do it by hand. You know, there was always hand applique before we had it done, but machine is a lot faster and more convenient nowadays. And we're very busy women, so we have to have our conveniences.
Yeah, okay. And then there's a third class we want to talk about where people can learn how to do this. This is gorgeous.
Yes, ma'am. This is by one of my favorite embroidery designers. This is a Jenny Haskins quilt CD, and this was all done on embroidery machine, except of course the binding and the stippling was done on a Brothers sewing machine. It's a built-in stitch that you can do.
Oh, this is just so beautiful and traditional. I bet anyone would love to have this on their bed. Obviously, this is
actually going on my wall.
Or on the wall. You can decorate.
That is one of my other later classes.
Okay, great.
Yes.
And to find out more about all these classes, they're posted on your website, right?
Yes, ma'am. You can go to sewbargain.com and click on clubs and classes, and you can skip through each month. The first quilt we looked at is coming up in February. The heart quilts, which is the one you see here in front of me as well, and the other one is by Sarah Thompson. Those will be taught probably in April. And Tammy, we got to tell how we came up with the Mother's Day for the hearts.
Oh, the Mother's Day. Thanks to my mom. I bought my mom a sewing machine a few years ago. She has not used yet. So I was over in Tennessee for the holidays, for Christmas, and we did look through quilt magazines as normal. She picked one to say, I like that, and I did her a challenge. This is out of a current magazine, and we did a quilt challenge. This is mine. And
this is the one you ended up making?
This is the one we're making, yes, and this is my mother's quilt challenge.
Okay, and just so people can see one more time, this is the one that you made. This is
that's the one hanging here.
That your mother made.
And my mother is getting started on hers.
Oh, very cool. What a fun thing to do. And I mean, obviously, you ladies are probably so talented by now, but even beginners can have fun with this. In fact, I know a beginner who's standing right next to me right now, Drew.
All right.
We're gonna call him in.
Let's learn how to sew.
We're going to get him
Are
to
you
do
ready to cut some quilts?
one of these steps here.
Name it. Whatever you need me to do, cut quilts,
Okay.
I can do it.
This is the newest, coolest thing for cutting quilts.
I love it.
We went from Grandma cutting them out with a pair of scissors, then we went to the rotary cutters and the rulers, but now this is wonderful. This is a fast and easy
Move
time.
it towards you a little bit.
Okay, sure, we're just gonna open this up. And,
Oh, look at that.
All right, it
Handy
opens up
carrying
like
case
that.
and
Are you already having
everything.
fun?
Yes.
Everything.
and Tammy's got it all layered for
I've
you.
got
Okay.
it layered out. What I have layered out is like these triangles that I have been putting together. And when you open them up after they're sewn, you have 2 diagonals.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
Very
sewn
nice.
together. So what you're going to do for me is you're going to hold that there, put the plastic cover,
Okay.
and center it into the go cutter.
Yeah.
Crank it.
And that's all I have to do is put it in here and crank it?
Crank
right.
it through.
Oh my goodness, even I can do that.
That's right.
Look
Okay.
at you making blankets.
Oh, go ahead and say it, ladies. It's so simple, a man can do
So
it.
simple, man can do it.
That home is thinking.
Okay, and once you
Okay.
have that, you slide this off. Slide that off. Just
All
slide it
right.
off there.
Oh, look at that.
And you have
Cool.
your stack of already set up, because I alternate every other
Oh.
color the way I'm sewing. And I lay it down like I have my stack here and just start sewing.
How long would it take you to normally cut these out the old
It
way?
took this quilt. I'm repeating this
Yeah.
quilt here. It took me 3 days to cut this quilt out.
Wow.
It took me less than a day to recut it on this.
Oh, that's
That's
brilliant.
amazing.
Yes.
The only thing on this that I cannot do on the go cutter is that green scroll. The rest is done on the go cutter. The hearts, even the hearts for the center. And then all my little blocks are all done. All of this is cut on the go cutter.
That's
Drew, I think we
changed.
need a follow-up lesson. Yeah.
I think so. It's changing quilting. I love that.
And even this one.
Oh, that's
You know,
amazing.
we're running out of time, but I want to make sure that
Yes.
we get to the project line.
Yes,
yes.
It's such a great
yes,
cause, and I want
it's a
people
great
to
cause.
donate.
Okay. Well, actually, Project Linus, we started out with one of our sewing machine companies, and I fell in love with it. And what it entails, it was started, I believe, in '98. And what you do is you make a blanket for a child in need, and it makes them feel secure. And I've been there firsthand to see some of the DHS children receive. I've seen pictures of them receiving some of the blankets that we make, and it's just wonderful. It just
And if you don't sew, you can make one of these. Anyone can make
Oh,
these.
yes.
So for more information on that, I know people can go to projectlinus.org. Such a great cause. Ladies, thank you so much for being
welcome.
here.
You're
We're going to have to
welcome.
have you back because there's so much more to learn. All right. Well, we now know Beyonce's Super Bowl halftime lineup will reveal which familiar songs you can expect to hear. Plus, Aiken's Natural Foods Market shows us the best cold and flu remedies to help you stay well during flu season.